Hi guys, my name is Yash. I'm ACBA Certified Business Analyst, and today we'll be continuing with our 173rd question of our BA interview series. So let's begin. So, what if the interviewer asks, how do you deal with reluctant stakeholders? So, as you can see, this is very extremely important for you as a BA because your BDM background gives you a huge advantage here, right? So, I'll answer. When dealing with reluctant stakeholders, my first priority is understanding their concerns instead of forcing discussions immediately. I focus on active listening, empathy, transparent communication, and involving them in the solution process. Since I worked as a BDM at Hubcode IT Services, I already have experience handling client concerns, negotiations, and expectation management. I believe stakeholders become more collaborative when they feel heard and involved rather than pressured. So, this is a very simple question, but it does require for you to have that BDM experience touch. So, the questioner interviewer has asked, how do you deal with reluctant stakeholders? So, I think in every company or every setup, there are people who are reluctant sometimes. So, how do you deal with that? So, the first priority is to understand their core concerns instead of forcing discussions immediately. Then, as a BA, I focus on active listening, empathy, transparent communication, and involving them in the solution process because that's what makes them trust you. Since I've worked as a BTM at Hubcode IT Services, this is where I'm showing up my experience. I already have experience handling client concerns, negotiations, and expectation management. I believe all stakeholders become more collaborative when they feel heard and involved rather than pressured. I think it's so true in terms of handling people, conflicting people. It's about understanding their concerns instead of just forcing discussions with them. Then it's all about active listening, empathy, transparent communication. Then I've showed my BDM experience where actually I've handled client concerns, negotiations, and expectation management. And then at last, I believe like stakeholders become more collaborative when they feel heard rather than pressured, right? And when they feel heard, when you listen actively, when you feel empathetic towards their point of view and understand their concerns well. And plus, my experience as a BDM at Hubcore IT Services had helped me to understand client concerns, negotiations, and expectation management. So, anyway, I hope you learned something from it. Thanks so much for watching.